Happy Tuesday. You are listening to Real Talk with Karen Stacy live on MiamiMicRadio.com. And I know it's only 6:57, but I was just so excited I had to get on. Wow, we have so much going on in on the live feed going on here, because we are on Facebook, and you can say my name, I have no fear. Oh, this is interesting. We are live. I have a Facebook feed going on as well, because some of us like to interact, and since today I am kind of like a one-man show, I'm on a rant today, live on the air. So for anybody that is tuned in on Facebook as well, I apologize if I do not react immediately to your comments, but I am live on the radio, so I cannot always react immediately, but I will indeed read posts, and I'm going to interact with you guys. So Lord knows me talking for an hour is a lot for the airwaves, but it's all good, right? So again, you are listening to Real Talk with Karen Stacy, and we are live on MiamiMicRadio.com. Can somebody that is listening on the radio give me a heads up and tell me if they hear me well and if the connection is good? There is a feed in the Real Talk with Karen Stacy group, so feel free to, I know usually Bill is the one that tells me if I sound okay, so I just want to know that you guys hear me well. And I know there are a lot of feeds going on right now, and I'm going to read some stuff from there because there was a lot of good stuff there. So today I want to talk about people that play games. So I put a post up on Facebook the other day, and I need to revert back so I can read to you my post. It was a, one of those e-card things, which we all see like 3,000 of them, and I love them, right? So I said, so the post is a girl with her finger over her mouth like this, and I can show all the Facebook people that are paying attention. It says, oh, you like to play games. I got one for you. You can play hide and go F yourself, because I'm not supposed to say the word on the radio. So what I wrote was, I lead with kindness and compassion, but never mistake kindness for weakness. One thing I don't do is play games. That's real talk. Being an adult or a good human means taking accountability for your actions. I will always understand anyone's feelings and will listen, but when people play games, ... And then I said, just saying, carry on. I don't post negative things, but I do call people out on things. And you know what? Some people may not appreciate that, and that's okay. Most people don't, because most people don't want to hear the truth. So, I say it like it is, and I don't get people. I'm at a loss for words, right? I don't get people. Why do people play games? What is the point? Like, when you're a certain age, do we really need to play games at this point? Like, that's the part that I don't get. Do we need to play games at 40 or 50 or even 60, I guess? Like, why do we need to play games? Just, say it like it is and be truthful, right? But that's not the way it is. people play games. You know, for instance, this weekend, I was supposed to, I went out this weekend and I was meeting people there. So, one of the people, one of the girls that was coming was a friend of a friend's, and you know we've chatted here and there, and you know she's a nice person, and we talked all day long, and we were gonna meet, and then something came up. Okay, so she's our mutual friend, was supposed to be coming with a couple of his friends as well. So I went. And I didn't really want to go out that night. I actually was having a good day. It was it's the end of the season at my beach club, which is my happy place. And my son was playing in the sound all day. My dad came, and we actually went out to eat afterwards. And you know, I was sitting. It was by the water, so it was beautiful. And I was just so happy. I was out all day. I was with my father and my son, you know, two very important people in my world. And I was looking and I was like, oh my God, it's just beautiful out. Like, I love this. I love that I'm outside. I love that I'm enjoying, you know, this beautiful day. And then I was thinking, damn, it kind of stinks. I got to cut this short and I got to take my father home. I got to take my kid home. But you know, I was like, all right, you know, I'll go out. It's, you know, my friend's birthday and, you know, whatever. So I ended up, you know, coming home and getting ready. And then I get, you know, after all the text, I get the text, oh, something came up. I'm going to be there later. Don't come pick me up. You know, I'll meet you there. Okay. So I've kind of gotten used to going out by myself at this point. As long as I kind of, you know, I know where I am, I don't really care. I'm good with going out by myself. I know that a lot of women don't like to go out by themselves. But to be honest with you, when you go out by yourself, you know, you have so much less. I mean, obviously you have to watch your back, but you know what? You always have to watch your back. So you have so much less to worry about, because now you don't have to worry if, you know, you don't have to babysit. And a lot of the people that I've gone out with, I babysit because they drink too much. Not that I don't drink too much, but I can still handle myself most of the time. But when I have to babysit people and worry about it, I rather, you know what, you go. When you want to leave, you can leave. If you want to stay, you can stay. You know, that is, you know, the benefits of going out alone. You know, because the same people are going to be there regardless. I mean, I saw somebody posted something that they got jumped at the end of the night, but that was a guy. But, you know, obviously you have to be careful and know where you are, but, you know, I don't mind. Okay, so anyway, let me get back to my story. So I went out by myself, and of course I knew people. And, now I'm waiting for, you know, said people to show up. So person A was supposed to come right after. So at like, and I got there like 9:30, 10 o'clock, because I'm old. If I don't go out early, I'll never leave. So now I'm waiting for said person, and it's like 11:15, and I text, you know, her, and she does not respond to me. Okay. So now at like 11:30, I text other said people. They don't respond to me. They were supposed to be there at midnight. So now it's midnight, and I am texting other said people, are you coming or not? And again, I get no response. So I ended up staying out, and of course I knew people and I had friends there, so, you know, I enjoyed my day, or night, whatever you want to call it, my event. But is that nice? Do we do that? I mean, do we as adults say that we're going to be someplace and we're going to meet someone that you know is going to be alone, and you just don't show up? And to boot, see, there's like that e-card that goes around and it says no response is a response. So what does that mean? When you don't respond to somebody, what does it mean? Does it mean that you don't care? Does it mean that you don't respect them? Because to me, that's what that means. Because at least respond. Because I get it. I know things happen. And I did get a text the following day from one of them that said, I'm so sorry with whatever, happened. But I said, you know what? I get it and I know things happen. But I deserve better. You should respect me. You should respect my time. You should respect me as a human. And you should have at least let me know. So that's where my people don't take accountability for their actions come in. So I find that people do not take accountability for their actions. I have a 9-year-old. And my 9-year-old takes accountability for his actions. And I've discussed this on the show before. We all make mistakes. Some of us do things sober and coherent. Some of us do things not sober and incoherent. And none of it is okay. But you have to at least be accountable. So if you don't do something that you were supposed to do, then say I'm sorry. Right? Wrong? I mean, that's my whole thing. And I just don't get how people, not only do they not take accountability, but then they disappear. Because one of the said people I was talking about still hasn't appeared, and that was Saturday. And today's Tuesday. So this isn't even about dating. I mean, a little bit, but, why do people disappear? Like, if I don't want to talk to you, you're going to know I don't want to talk to you. And I think that that's only fair because it's misleading someone into thinking that, they are, I don't know, maybe that they think more of, that you think more of them than they do. Let's see. Someone just put in a comment, what's worse than people tell you they are going to show up and don't call when people get there. All right, hold on. I gotta see. I can't even read it because it's I can't read. Okay, there it is. People get there. Why is it doing this? It's annoying. I don't get this freaking Facebook. The Irish getaway. Well, yeah, the Irish goodbye, of course. And I know that one. But you know what, Scott, the Irish goodbye, even though it's not great because it's with women, it's not good because you need to know that this person didn't get like abducted or killed or something. So the Irish goodbye is not necessarily the right thing, but I can forgive the Irish goodbye if you're drunk. But you got to say hello before you say goodbye. So I don't know, I mean, I get that. And you're right about that, even though I can't see what the hell you wrote in its entirety because I got like smiley faces and freaking emojis over what you wrote, but I'm getting the main idea. Yeah, I just, and thank you, Dora. It's disrespectful. And I said that when one of the people texted me the following day, and at least she took accountability for it and she apologized. And it is what it is. So, I don't play games. If I tell you I'm going to be someplace at a certain time, I'm there. And if I'm not there, then you're getting a text, you're getting a phone call saying, crap, I'm running late, my eyelashes didn't stick properly, and I didn't leave when I was supposed to. So I will be there 20 minutes later, whatever it is. But that is the right thing to do. And for anybody out there that is, Robert, if that's my biggest concern, well, my eyelashes or people being, I don't know what part you came in on, Robert, but, trust me, I have a lot of big concerns, so I'm not really sure what you mean by that. So if you could specify, I would appreciate it. As I said, I think that people should be respectful of other people's time and of their heart too, because guess what, when you think someone's coming and you're looking forward to seeing someone and they don't come, that don't feel good. But and then you know what, and then here's the funny thing, then that flips the coin, right? And now all of a sudden, am I referring to you? It's funny, Dory, that you say that. Some of the posts I put, I get responses like that. I did the game playing post, and two gentlemen that I don't even know that follow me on Facebook said, "Are you referring to me?" Exactly what you just wrote. So that is puzzling to me, because why would I be referring to anyone in particular? I was actually referring to the two people that I just spoke about that don't even know that I'm referring to them. So sometimes when you question if someone's referring to you, it's, what do they say? Projection, right? It's projection. Because why would you feel that I was speaking about you? Because honestly, me personally, if I'm speaking about somebody, they know that that's how I felt. I'm not like passive aggressive like that. So I wouldn't do that. I mean, there were two posts from two guys that said, "Oh, is she talking? Are you talking about me?" Why would I be talking about you? I mean, unless I am we have a relationship and we connect and you physically do something that you shouldn't have done, then maybe I'm referring to you, but it was a blank statement. It was just the way I was feeling. And the funny thing about life is that people interpret everything differently. So that's the funny thing about life, is that if you take something someone posts personally, that's something you need to think about, because you got a guilty conscience at that point. And why do you have a guilty conscience? So that's a very questionable thing, and definitely something that I wanted to address here as well, because I found that quite interesting that I had a couple of people, and ironically just now the same thing, where it was like, "Are you referring to me?" I have 1,000+ people that are on Facebook. I wasn't referring to not one of the people that were on Facebook, but it's very interesting that someone's own projection would make them think that you were referring to them. Me personally, I don't really, I get my point across. I am not necessarily nasty about it, but I am straight to the point. And if I have an issue with you, you know it. And so one person reached out to me, the next one still hasn't, because they know that they didn't do the right thing. And the funny thing is that morning, I wasn't sure why I was feeling the way I was feeling. And I spoke to one of my dearest friends, very close friend to me, and I was making excuses for these people that didn't treat me with respect. And she said to me, "Don't make excuses. How did it make you feel?" I said, "Well, it didn't make me feel great." So then that's how you feel about it. So now you should move forward with that. So that's a big thing in my book. And I said it, it's a big thing in my book, and I've said it before on one of my rants. No response is a response, right? It's just not cool. Certain things do not warrant a response. If someone texts you or says something inappropriate to you and you just want to shut it down and you don't respond, that's different. But if you have been corresponding with somebody and they text you, and you choose not to respond to them, or you're supposed to meet them and you choose not to respond to them, that's not okay. And I do have a problem with that. It's one of my issues. And that goes back to taking accountability for your actions. So let me just tune in here. I'm trying. First of all, I want to remind you guys that you are listening to Real Talk with Karen Stacy live on MiamiMikeRadio.com. So I'm going to go into my feed right now because there were a lot of people that were anticipating this show, and I have a lot to say that I probably won't even get through. I have a lot of stuff here. So let me just read some stuff here. So one of the questions was, let the questions begin. Chivalry or courting someone? Respect? Question mark. Broken promises? Question mark. That's a mouthful, right? Because that's kind of what I was just talking about, minus the courting and stuff, but respect or lack thereof. Yeah, there is a lot of lack thereof out there. And I think a lot of people have been actually tolerating and putting up with it. But the question there is, now there's a male side and there's a female side, right? So if a female reacts to that, then she's a bitch or the C word, right? But if a man responds to it, then he's an ass. I think I can say asshole. He's an asshole. He's a jerk, whatever. So the truth of the matter is that there are, and I was schooled on this the other day as well. There's a right way and a wrong way to go about things. There's a right way and a wrong way to say things. So if someone is disrespectful, you should tell them how you feel. You don't have to be a bitch. You don't have to be a MFer, but you should tell them how you feel. So somebody else, it's not even up there yet. All right, let's see. Okay, so one of the men responded, below is a list of ways to win an argument with a woman, and it was blank underneath. Which, no matter whether she's a sweetheart or not, that's true. You can never win a fight with a woman unless you have a very valid point and you're good. And like for myself personally, if I have a man, or anyone for that matter, that can, I don't want to say challenge, because that seems like there's something there, but when I say challenge, I mean challenge the mind and everything that goes along with it. If they can do that, then I'm all in. And you know what? For a strong woman to have someone come back at her with something that is legitimate and strong, that's a huge asset. Huge. So one of the girls said, never piss off an Italian woman. They remember stuff that hasn't even happened yet, which is really funny. And my response to that was, all women do. So what I responded to that was, I suffer from a strange disorder where I speak the truth and it pisses people off. And that is very true. I speak the truth. This is Real Talk with Karen Stacy. It's not throw you under the bus. It's not I'm a bitch. It's not any of those things. It's just stating real talk. It's the truth, and it's real, and it's my truth. So then we have safety first is a priority from one of the gentlemen. When a woman says, what? It is not because she didn't hear you. She's giving you a chance to change what you said. I love that. And then we got another one. Top 5 craziest women. Number 1, all. Number 2, of. Number 3, them. Number 4, are. Number 5, crazy. So all of them are crazy. And I think that's hysterical. So somebody said crazy. One of the ladies said crazy is good. What good are we if we aren't? If not, it's boring, right? And then another one of the ladies said it's easy to fool the eye, but it's hard to fool the heart. No doubt. All right, a little tip for both genders. Un-F yourself. Be who you were before all this stuff happened that dimmed your freaking smile. This is true, and this comes back to projection, right? So at this age, I mean, I'm 48. So many people in my age bracket are out there again, and they were unhappily married. They probably stayed together for the kids, which is another one of the questions that I had, posting for tonight. Do you stay in a happy marriage? I mean, an unhappy marriage, excuse me, for the children. I know a lot of people that stay in marriages, loveless marriages, and they have no connection to their spouse, and they are in this relationship because they think it is beneficial for the children. So my question is, actually it's not even a question. Anybody that has children knows that kids are more perceptive than kids and animals, but I don't want to put them in the same category. But anybody knows that children are extremely perceptive. So if you think that whatever's going on between you and your spouse, your children don't see, you're crazy. And it's funny because I have, someone that is close to me that is, like we all do, right? That is not in an ideal, marital, an ideal marriage. And, their response was, that they need to be there because their child, they have two other children that are older, but the last one, they have to stay for. And I remember them saying that, the child saw the couple, I think, kiss, and they were like in shock because it had been so long since they saw any type of, affection between the mother and the father. So I often wonder, and I get it, and I've spoken to, there are countless people that I have spoken to, and mostly men, because the women, I guess, do not verbalize that they don't want to be where they are, but men, I guess, to other women, verbalize that they don't want to be where they are, but they stay there for their children. So my feeling with that, there's two feelings that I have with that. Number one, I don't think that children are that, naive. I think that children feel things and they know. Number two, we don't get to do this again. We get to do this now. And if there is something going on in like Prince says, the afterworld, tomorrow is not promised, and I learned that the hard way. So for you to stay in a place that does not fit, when is it the right time to fit? I get it. I get that you sacrifice your life for your children, and I sacrifice so much for my child, and I would do it over and over and over again because nothing is more important than our children. That being said, you don't get a second chance at this. So if you are in a marriage that is loveless and lifeless, then what are you bringing to your children? Yes, David, I'm seeing what you're saying. I believe kids can feel more. They absolutely can. That is my point. So when children see things and it is not organic, they are going to absorb that. And what they are learning is to have a loveless relationship eventually for themselves. So I'm not saying like everybody should run away from their spouse. I believe that, till death do you part is the way it's supposed to be. I don't believe in divorce. That being said, I don't believe in people being unhappy. I think that divorce, like you look at celebrities, right? And celebrities, everybody gets divorced, on the drop of a dime. That I don't agree with. I think that you need to work at a relationship. A relationship needs not 50-50, 100 and 100. Both parties need to be committed. And you know what? The funny thing about life is this. You get up in the morning. What do you get? Oh, you got to get the kids. Well, maybe even if you don't have kids. You got to get up. You got to go to work. How many people get home from work? It's what time is it now? 7:30 or something like that. How many people are not even home from work right now? I bet there were a number of people that are not even home from work right now. And when you get home from work, I know I've spoken to a million people, and they get home and the last thing they want to do is talk, right? Because you've been doing it all day long. You're on the phone. I don't want to be on the phone. I don't want to call you because I don't want to talk because I've been on the phone all day, blah, 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 right? So I get it. But now you get home, and the reason why you get up and you go to work every day is because of the person that is home. And guess what? They get nothing from you because you got nothing left. And I was guilty of that 110% myself. And I did that. And in the beginning of my relationship, I had all these things going on. And I remember I was in therapy, and my therapist said to me, you come home and you got nothing left at the end of the day. So if you got nothing left at the end of the day, and the reason why you have your day is to get home to be with the people that you love, then there is a problem. And I understand we all got to do what we got to do to make money. But you know what? When you leave that environment, and you come home, and now you have to be present. So many people are not present, and most people stay out there and they work because it's a hell of a lot easier to work than it is to come home and deal with life. So my point to all of that is that you don't get that time back. Okay? My husband, I say this to everybody, and I want to remind everybody of this, okay? One of my best friends, I always say, on the 8th day, and on the 32nd day, right? That's when you're gonna live. My husband, his last day of work was on a Friday. He did not take time because he had huge work ethics, and he worked and he did side jobs because he didn't want me to work, and he wanted to make sure that he provided for myself and my son. So he did a side job on Saturday, and he lived his life. Friday night, we were at the beach club. He was drinking and hanging out with my friends while I was chasing my kid, so I was pissed off at him. And, Saturday morning, he was up at some ridiculous hour in the morning, and he went to work on a side job. And then he came to the beach club, and he was playing football, and that was when he died. It was Saturday night at 8 p.m. And the reason why I say this story is because his vacation started on Monday. So my point is that in life, we do not know what tomorrow is going to bring. So if you want to let work kill you and let a bad marriage kill you and all of those things, you do not get that time back. If you are in a good marriage, if you have a good life, and not even a marriage, you're good, then you live your life the way you need to. But you don't get that time back. And I say that to, you know how many married men they're on freaking Tinder, they're on whatever, and I'm like, all these online dating things, and my girlfriend was like, oh, if they don't have a picture up, they're married. I'm like, what? Why would they be married on a dating site? And this is what they do. And so, as ridiculous as it sounds, you meet somebody, you have to ask them if they're single. And guess what? It's not forthcoming. You could have already become emotionally involved with this person before you even know that this person is married. That's not cool, because again, that's not respectful. It's not being transparent. And here's my feeling. As adults, we all make decisions that we are going to make, correct? So some women, some men, they don't want any type of commitment. And you know what? If somebody's married and they're in an unhappy marriage and they know they're not leaving that marriage, and they know that they can have this emotional connection or physical connection with someone else that they don't have at home, some people are all in. There are a lot of people that do not want a relationship, and they're very happy being the filler in, or whatever you want to call it. I don't even know what you want to call it, because I don't want to minimize it, because everybody has a place. But as adults, be forthcoming with what's going on. And most people do not want to hear the truth, and I get it. But you know what? If you're married and you have no intention of leaving your wife or your husband, then if you're out there and you want to get your groove on, or you need that emotional connection, you need whatever, then be forthcoming and say it. And say, guess what? I'm married. I'm miserable. This is my situation. And I live with this person. I do this, I do that. And then let people make their own decision. But you can't perpetrate the fraud and act like you're a single person when you're not. So I'm going to go back, because there's a lot more things on here that I want to read, because there were more comments. Okay. All right. I see people are tuned in. All right, Bill and Diane, thank you for tuning in. I know, Bill, it's not the same when you're not there. So somebody just said, no, you should not stay together for the kids, which I completely agree with, as I just said. All right, sometimes you need to just decompress from your day, maybe 20 minutes, take a shower, eat, and then be with your family. 100%. And anybody that, you should always be sensitive to the fact that people need their own space and time. 100%, absolutely, I'm with you. Definitely. I just don't know if I'm missing. I know people, there were so many feeds that I'm not sure where people are commenting from. Friend zone sucks too was a comment that I just got. Yeah. Well, that was something that I was going to, that whole friends with benefits thing, that's what I was going to address as well. So again, I want to remind you that you are listening to the Karen Stacy rant, Real Talk with Karen Stacy, live on MiamiMikeRadio.com. Here in New York, we had a little bit of a tropical storm from the remnants of the horrific stuff that was going on in the Carolinas, and we hope that everyone is safe. But it was a little difficult getting somebody here today, so I had a lot of stuff on my mind, and I can talk for an hour straight without anybody, so I figured, hey, what the hell, why not? Friend zone. Yeah. Let's talk about that. Friends with benefits. So what's the deal with that? I look at it a couple of different ways, and I've been through all ends of the spectrum, so I do look at it different ways. Is it nice to have a friend, somebody that you can talk to, somebody that you like, and then somebody that you can, rip their clothes off? Some people, especially women, I think a lot of us women don't like to sleep around. So and there are a lot of guys like that too, I have to say. Let me not throw men under the bus. I know a lot of guys that are like that too. where, you know what, even if it's not a committed relationship, it's a committed sexual relationship, because people are not banging 12 people at once. It's a one person at a time, sexcapade, if you will. So, the friends with benefits, that gets complicated if you do not communicate. Because again, if you do not respond to a person when you're supposed to, you don't show up when you're supposed to, just because you're not in a relationship doesn't mean that you can tune this person out. You still have to be there. Whether or not you want to have sex with them or not is a whole different story. All right. I think friends with benefits could be a good thing, but it really has to be right fit. It doesn't work for everybody. Well, yes. And the point is what I just was saying, Trey, is that, yeah, it doesn't work for everybody, because if you're not open and honest, then it's not okay. And then sometimes people get hurt. So, that's the truth on that. So here's something that I wanted to talk about. I had a text today. As you guys all know, I am a widow of 4+ years now. And a girlfriend of mine, told me, you got to get out there and you got to date. So how the hell do you do that? Right? I was with somebody for, half my life. Now I got to go date. I got to deal with this again. Okay. So she told me about going online and all that stuff. So, I met these people, and you meet these people that tell you that they want to, I want to find somebody to marry, I want to be in a relationship, and then I don't get what happens. Maybe it was me, but I am definitely marriage material. I know it because I was married, and that's who I am. I'm a family person. Everybody thinks I live this life of a rock star. They think I'm banging all these guys. They think I'm freaking here and I'm there. And meanwhile, I got a 9-year-old that's attached to me at every given moment, which I thank God for. But, everybody thinks what they want to think. They glamorize, life. And you know what? That's not the way life really is. So I am a real human being. And yeah, I share things with you guys because this is real talk. And I only know from my own experience. So I'm going to share my experiences with you. So yes, I went online and I tried to meet people. And it's like a scary place to be. I don't know what people think. They tell you that they want to find somebody to marry. They say, how many guys out there, and ladies, please chime in, I want to meet a good girl. There are no more women out there with old school values that are good girls. And likewise, I say the same thing with men. I want a man that's going to open the door for me. I want a man that is going to make sure that I don't get wet in the rain. Because yes, I will melt. So, there are certain things, but I get the fact that the lines have been blurred a lot. Because, why? Because men are not at the standard in which so many of us women knew them at. And women are in a totally other league at this point. Because of the fact that men don't know what to do. And I've had this talk before on one of my shows, the masculinity versus femininity. And, it's a blurred line. So women have become the stronger species. And I'm sorry, don't, throw the phone across the thing. Don't break your computer. First of all, we all know women are stronger, because if a man had to have a baby, there'd be 2 people in the world, okay? Because we know you guys cannot handle that. You get sick, you like little babies. Our uterus is on the other side of the room, and you have to watch it, and you're like, oh my God. So please. But that being said, there are men that want to be men, but because of the fact that women have become this stronger species, they no longer need men. So you heard the word I used there? Need. Okay? When you need something, you are already on your knees. You cannot need. You need to want. That is very different. So if a man doesn't know how to do their own laundry and doesn't know how to take care of themselves, they need a woman. A woman does not want a man that needs them like that. So it's all like, my husband used to mess with me. There was a friend of ours that used to say, "Know your role," and that was, she lived in the South, and she used to say, "Know your role," and my husband would say, "Yep, that's pots and pans girl, and I'm screw gun guy." And I used to walk up to him and I used to punch him because I was like, "I'm not pots and pans girl. Like, what are you making me, like a yabba dabba doo type of thing? Like, I'm not pots and pans girl." And that was our joke. But the truth of the matter is that, you know, you need to know your role. And sometimes you don't know what that role, well, you should know what that role is. And that should be between the man and the woman to know the role. So, you know, it's a sad state of affairs right now because men are emasculated and women are men. So we need to balance that a little bit, and we need men to be men, and we need women to be women. And what does that mean? It means that a man should be the leader, and a woman, not that she should be a follower, but everybody has their place. So when women have to be that strong, then the aftermath is what it is. And women, and then they become like the bitch, right? That's the title. And it's funny because this is what I wanted to actually talk about. I have done the rules change due to financial challenges. Yes, David, that's one of yes. Financial challenges are certainly that. They are challenges. But, you know, again, there's always things in life that are going to take over. It just depends on what is important to you. Michelle said, "Take out the garbage." That's funny. Lots of men don't know how to be leaders. Women want men that are leaders. Yes, David, that is exactly what I am saying. I agree with that 110%, and that is my point, is that men don't know where they should feel, where their roles should be, and women don't know where their roles should be, in essence. But I want to share. I want to share something with you guys. So I am like the therapist. I mean, go figure, right? Like, you know, somebody told me I remind them Wendy Williams meets Dr. Ruth. So here we go. I'm the therapist. So, you know, here's the funny part that I don't really get is that I've met a few people that I would call special to me, and men. And, you know, I've met people, maybe it didn't work out, and we remained friends. And I actually counseled these guys through the girlfriends that they ended up with after, you know, things didn't work. So I listen to them and I say, this is very interesting. So 2 guys that I know, I counseled them through, and they both were like, they lost their freaking balls. I mean, I'm going to say it like it is because it's real talk. They lost their balls. These women freaking manipulated them into everything. I had one guy telling me how she's hiding her phone. He's crawling underneath the floor because he wants to see where she's going when she's going to take a shower. She's hiding her phone. And I'm like, are you 16 years old? Are you kidding me right now? I mean, if somebody pulled that crap with me after 10 minutes, I would be like, okay, I'm done. And not because I don't get people, and not because I don't give people 8,000 freaking chances, but that is not normal. And at 16, I knew that that wasn't normal. So at 40 plus, you should know that that's not okay. So here, and then I got another one, same thing. Now, both of these men that I met wanted to find someone to marry. And again, they met me. And now I'm not saying that I'm for everybody by any means. But I am as true blue as they come. I say it like it is. Yes, I realize I have baggage. I have a hole. I have a 9-year-old kid. I get all that. But you know what? I don't need anybody in my life. If I want you in my life, that's a different story. And maybe at certain points, I did need people. And that is why I am where I am today, so I do not no longer need anyone. I want someone. That's different. But these two men, good guys to my understanding, okay? And these women manipulated them in the best freaking way possible. And I'm like, are you kidding me right now? This is how you're living. This is what you want. And in my head, I'm saying to myself, this is who you wanted to be with. You didn't want to be with me, but you wanted to be with some woman that is freaking jerking you from here to there, that any other woman, when you start telling somebody these things, they freaking know what they're about. I knew what these women were about in 5 seconds or less. So now, they're both broken up right now, supposedly. And one of them, I was actually texting with today, which if he's listening right now, he may not, I told him, you probably don't want to talk to me after this show. But like, what's different now? All of a sudden, I'm like, let me get this straight. You got this woman who freaking lied to you. I saw her. I showed up at her house and she was out, and then she came home and had different clothes on, this, that, and the other. Are you kidding me? At how old are we? And you're like playing games and you're cheating? And then she faked that she had cancer. And again, I don't know. He could be lying to me. But this was a story that I was told. And now this person was back and forth with me, would text me, oh, you know, how you doing? Oh, you know, the reason why I wasn't with you is because, you know, you're somebody I could fall in love with. And the other one, you know, I don't really love her, so it's different. So, like, is this a crock of shit? Like, why do guys say this stuff? Like, just pull out and run away like you do. Like, don't make shit up. And that's what, like, people will say. And these same guys would be the same guys that would tell me, oh, they're not, you know, they're this, that, and the other, because if that's what they wanted, they would do it. But so my question is this. Everybody wants a good girl, right? That's what you say. Men want a good girl, just like women want a good guy. So the funny part is that I consider myself to be a good girl. I mean, I'm a bad girl, but only in the right way. I'm a good girl. I'm a good woman, okay? I'm a good human being. I care about people. I care about their emotions. I care about their feelings. I care about things that go on in their life, okay? So these women that are playing them left, right, and center, these are the bitches that have these guys wrapped right around their finger. And then the nice one finishes last. Now, I don't want to put that into the universe because I don't believe that. And I believe that the reason why that happens is because they need to walk that walk and they need to live that miserable life. And I'm good with that because I don't need that, because I know what I'm worth and I know what I should have. And sometimes we all need to hear that. Hence, I got messages upon messages on these things, and people telling me how they should say goodbye, they should know better, they give people the benefit of the doubt, you know, and I'm with all of that. I give everyone the benefit of the doubt. But when you disrespect me, we got a problem. I understand the cat died, you know, whatever. I get it all, okay? But you don't not follow through as an adult. It's not okay. So I just want to, and now again, like I'm at a loss a little bit because I see these people, and it's only my own experience because this is what I'm talking about. And not that I don't have 100 people messaging me and telling me these things. But in my experience, I see this. And I used to be a real freaking bitch when I was a kid. Real bitch. And my husband loved the shit out of me. So maybe I should go back to that again. Maybe I should just hang up the freaking phone on somebody. Maybe I should not respond like they don't respond to me. But you know what? It's not who and what I am. And I am not here. This was the whole point to this. I don't play games. If you need to play games at 40, 50 years old, then you better freaking see where you gotta go. Because guess what? I pay my own bills. Thank God my husband is still there helping me. We pay our own bills. We also have means to take care of ourselves. I did a show on that as well. I did my sex show. I said I got 3 minutes. I'm good. So you know what? It's not about filling voids that are in people's lives, because if you're an adult, those voids don't need to be filled, because there are no voids. The only thing that one needs in their life is a companion that can be their best friend, that can be their sounding board, that can be their support. The world is what the world is. So we need people in our corner to help us. So I just don't understand that, and I'm saying that on both ends, for men and for women. If you are out there and you are single, or even if you're in a relationship and you're miserable, you need to make things happen, because life happens whether you want it to or not. So it's either going to be good or it's going to be bad. And one of the things that I was supposed to talk about, but I went off, and of course, is that, everything is a pickup place now. And it's very funny. One of my listeners, Mel, she posted something on Facebook and said, I post my pictures on Facebook, not, for anyone else. This is not a pickup site. This is for my family, because a lot of us are connected on Facebook with our family. And our family wants to see pictures of our children and yada, yada. And it is very funny because of, I think, internet dating. Everything is a pickup forum. People message you, people say things, and it's like right away, because there is no face-to-face thing. It's like people are flirting, people or whatever, and like people got balls in the cyber world. So it's a very interesting thing. Like, you see these dating sites, and please do not get me wrong. Everybody knows, I think, who and what they are. So if you're a 3 and you're out at a club and you see a girl that's a 10, or you're a 3 girl and you see some hot freaking guy with like a 6-pack, he's a 10, you're a 3, you know that maybe you could, walk over and talk to him, and maybe he's going to be a gentleman and he's going to talk to you back. But you got to be in the same league. And unfortunately, people go out of their league and they just figure, you know what? Anybody that's in the cyber world is available to speak to and to hit on. And I need to correct everyone out there. Just because someone is single does not mean that they need to be hit on. If you find an interest in someone, find a classy way to get your point across. If it's on Facebook, you want to send them a message and say, I think you're beautiful, I came across your profile, that would be dealt with a certain way. But I don't know, sometimes there's creepy stuff that goes on, and you get these stalking people that send you messages and all of that. You gotta proceed with caution, because everyone now is so via text that the flirting and all of that stuff happens right away on that, and the phone gets blown up for the week or whatever, and then poof, it's gone. The ghosting and all of that happens. So be consistent, okay? And be true to yourself, and be respectful of others. Because guess what? There are people that are on the other end of that, and they have hearts and they have souls. And if you continue to play games games, you're going to hurt other people. And if you hurt other people, it never reflects well on you. So again, no response is a response. Be respectful of the people around you. Do not play games. Be real, be true, and be true to yourself and be true to others, and don't perpetrate the fraud, which is something I have always said. So now I still had like 3 pages of things that I need to talk about. Could you imagine this? This is how much talking I have to do. So maybe I'll continue on Facebook afterwards. But I have to shut up now because breaking news, Frank C's record pool is going to be starting in 2 minutes. He is coming back today. And I want to remind you guys that September 21st, which happens to be my husband's birthday, so it is a tough day for me, I am going to be at the Copacabana in Portchester, New York. We are doing body mechanics. It's going to be myself as a host doing the happy hour, and then Maymay is going to be there as well, another one of our Miami Mike hosts. And then we're going to have Frank C. and Rob Mush on the turntables. So that is happening on Friday, the 21st. Happy hour is going to start like 6:37. Dancing will start like 9. We're going to take you back to like a journey in time. It's going to be awesome. Old school. Everything I just talked about was old school. It's all about old school. You got to get back into it and teach your children how to be old school, because those things should not be out of the market. So I want to remind you guys, Sundays is Backstage Pass and Ride with John Maldonado, noon to 2 p.m. Mondays is the Ride Home with DJ Paulie, a.k.a. the Portuguese Prince, which is from 6 to 9. Mind Candy Mondays with DJ Rob Mush from 9 to 11. Of course, I'm here on Tuesdays. Real Talk with Karen Stacy from 7 to 8. And then Frank C. is coming up right behind me now with his record pool. Wednesdays, we have DJ Lady E at 7 p.m. And then following her is the Mayhem Loyal Listener Show with Hamilton Czar and Maymay, with a different special loyal listener guest each week from 8:30 to 11. Thursdays, we have the Traffic Jam with DJ Michael Anthony from 4 to 6. Fridays, we now have Steve, DJ Simply Nice, and he's from 8 to 10, followed by Friday Night Sessions with Tony Sinapi from 10 to God knows when. Saturdays, we have the Ghazi Show with DJ Ghazi from 8 to 10. And then we have Anthony Mangini following him, usually on Saturday nights, but he does pop-ups as well. So I just wanted to thank you guys all for listening to my rant. I still have more to rant. I might stay live. Frank C., have a great show, and I hope I see you guys all on September 21st at the Copacabana in Portchester. Love you guys.